Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosa's like investigator. Hello, huh? Everybody, welcome. Rosa's like investigator. Oh, I have just grabbed these. Okay. Oh, because I was like, wait, I got my wands because I'm going to do the protection. I like to ask for protection. Beautiful ray of light coming into my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources that I create the good knowledge of it. So that's okay. Okay. So guys, there's so much to talk about today. And I hope I'll cover everything. So it's gonna go fast. Thank you for your comments. I did, someone said, Rosie, what's going on? I haven't done videos daily. It's just that it's been, no, I just had to deal with a few things. So it's okay. No, things are good. It's just, guys, this time is intense. Have you noticed? Like really, like for everybody. And there was a day like yesterday, I barely slept. So sometimes, right, I learned that it's okay to take breaks, because otherwise I guess also I can't somehow because, the energy, sometimes it's that I've been tired, right? Other times it's just that the energy is so heavy around something that it's good to also step away so you're not just repeating their narrative. Okay. So since I last did a video here with you guys, I've talked to people and I had some insights. So I'm going to share it with you. Okay. So let's do okay, hold on a second. Now I'm going to do the head, what you call it, little title thingies because there's a lot. Okay, so what is the first one? Hmm. Yeah, it's funny because sometimes, as you know, lately I've done some that don't have any at all. But other times, like today, because there's so much, I want to do that. Okay. All right. So visions for next week, eclipse Sunday, September 21st to Sunday, September 20th. So you guys know that there is an eclipse happening on, I think, Sunday, the 21st, right? As you know, I am not an astrologer. I listen to some astrologers, and this is supposed to be like a big one. Okay. And also, the thing is that, as you already know better than I do, probably even, that this eclipse it's followed by this big shaky day, the 24th, which so happens to be the day when Kamala is supposed to speak here in New York. And by the way, I believe that that's going to be postponed. Okay. I don't think it's like, oh, what a shocker. No, right. Given what's going on, right? Somebody like her could be a target of something. I think she's the type of person who's very careful by nature with those types of things. And so she's going to take the correct measures. Having said that, that's what I'm picking up about that. So actually, let me do it. Somebody asked about okay, Tim Walz. By the way, I'm just gonna do this. That's right. I'm just have to keep changing this. Okay, so Tim Walz, I got a lot of people commenting saying, "Oh, Tim Walz has announced he's running for governor." He is an independent. So what I picked up, actually, I talked to Kathy Beal from a Professional Aquarian. She said, texted today. She says, have you picked up? I said, no. What I pick up is there's nothing out of the ordinary. He is a very proactive person. And he knows that even if something were to happen with Kamala, he's not in charge of the Kamala ticket anyway. Kamala is the leader, is the head. If something happens, he's available, but he hasn't been notified. Does it make sense? It's something that I think also to make it clear here. I don't think that whatever happens, Kamala will be contacted once something has been done already about T. Okay. It's not like something that she's like, hey, someone's like, hey, Kamala, this, by the way, it's not the case. It's a separate, she is not making something happen herself deliberately. Like she's kind of the actions have, in a way, in a way have nothing to do with her. She's not in charge of anything. She's not controlling. She's not aware of exactly what's happening or what will happen. It will affect her, of course, once it does, but does it make sense? And that's clear here about Tim Walz. Also, I feel like he feels very much like a father of Minnesota, not father, like a father figure, like a protector of the citizens of that state, given that it has been a target of a lot of violence, right? And Trash never mentioned, remember, the politicians that were murdered because of their political affiliations, right? We know that. So he feels like he wants to reassure the public. And just as it happened when he was running with Kamala, he was running, but he's also like he's not giving up his responsibilities. And he's definitely, I get this very strongly. He is not one of these people who be like, oh, I know something's gonna happen. I'm just gonna sit back, kick back, and just sit. No. He prefers to be in motion, to be dynamic. And he feels more needed more than ever. Okay. So that's the answer. Now, having said that, let's go back to again what I was talking about just now, which is the visions of what's coming. And I wanted to say, guys, it's not going to come as a surprise to any of you. I've said this before, that this is going to be maybe one of the most intense periods that we're going to experience together in this channel, right? As a world, as a country too, as a city, everything. So that's what I'm expecting to come. Okay. And so this is again this eclipse coming on Sunday, and then a lot of different events. Now, so I was talking to somebody today, and this person asked about the trip that apparently Trump invited Bibi to the White House. After the meeting, the United Nations, I forgot, there's an annual assembly. There's a big meeting in the UN. And this big meeting of the UN is like every year. And I know here in the city, the streets around there, the United Nations building, get closed off. And there's always like traffic issues. So that's what I'm referring to. And so supposedly this meeting was going to happen after Bibi comes to speak at the UN. And I looked up the dates. Okay. And the dates are September 20. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to have, okay. I'm going back. So as I jump to a new topic, I should just remove this part. I don't need to have this link because this was just the link to the actual press release from, it was something on the UN website. So as I was asking about this meeting, if Bibi was going to come to the meeting, because this person is anxious for Bibi to leave of the government over there in Israel because it's very unpopular. And he's doing a lot of not great things. Okay, so I asked and I looked, where's Bibi? Is Bibi going to come to the meeting? Because that was her question. Okay, and then so this is what I saw. I saw that Bibi is like, he's not going. Either he's going to have to come back, or something. There's going to be some sort of big delay, because it told me first. I got the words Trump may not be there then, right, towards the end of the meeting. Because usually, if I remember correctly, for some reason, I feel like Bibi would come towards the end or at the end. So that'd be 28th or 29th of September. But I see, it shows me that it told me maybe Trump won't be there when he comes. And then when I looked further into the UN, then a lot of things came back, okay, to me. And I had told you guys this. And again, because I've talked to people, I talked to Korean, I talked to Kathy, I talked to many different people, or readings and everything. I picked up a few things before. I told you before a while back that I had seen tanks on 6th Avenue here. Like, and that the military be here not against us, but to protect us. One. Okay. Two, I saw that there was this hit, and it told me as I looked into Bibi's situation that the whole UN meeting could be delayed, or or partially canceled. Like I see there's all this scrambling happening because if you think about it, and I wanted to tell you this, don't at the same time that I want you to get too scared. I did get there would be, it's not quite like 9/11, but something that would disrupt uh, the situation here in New York in the next week. Okay. So, so, um, so I saw that this again, the UN people like all these airplanes, because of course, heads of state comes 150 countries, 150 heads of state, imagine coming. The security measures are intense. So if you want to create some sort of like terrorist attack that would disrupt the world, you would do it then, right? And if you know the trash people, they want to disrupt the current world order. That would be a perfect time, right? If you think about it. So what I'm seeing is that suddenly all of this, like the traffic, right? Imagine if they, I'm just saying, if they start to like scram, like what is it, the GPS jamming thing that they do, all these different things. And remember, guys, right before, like as soon as Trump was announced as the winner, right, of the election, then people started seeing all these drones. And we know that what's happening now, I've been talking about it in the past few videos, there's a lot of drones entering the space of Poland, the space of Romania, Lithuania, and even apparently some missiles crossing in, provoking NATO, right? So this, if you have to, this is the context of what's happening, right? So they want, there's a lot of instability in the air. A lot of the astrology is very, very exposed. And I got goosebumps as I tell you this. And so that's right. Think about it. That's huge. So what I'm telling you is indeed, in fact, there may be something so big happening that will cause the meeting of the UN next week to be delayed here in New York, or to be like postponed. Okay. And I see that it may be that some of them are already here as this is delayed. Like it could be, I see that it could even start, but it may not, but during it, at the beginning or at some point, it could be delayed. And as I'm telling you this, you guys who have been following me for a long time know that I'm the type of person who's not a fear monger. I avoid saying anything that could scare people out. But this is a moment where I don't think it's an exaggeration for a variety of reasons. And when you look again at what's happening globally, what the dark forces are doing and attempting to do, it makes sense that they would try something dire then, okay, and or something, there could be massive disruption. So also going back to the vision I had about Bibi, and I looked at Bibi and Trump, I saw that Trump would be kind of like in the dark, like kind of removed essentially in a dark place, and a kind of like, I don't know if he was exactly handcuffed, but he was not in power at the time. Like he was not in charge or in control. I didn't ask about Kamala, but Kamala came up as being like, oh, finally I can come out. That she was hiding, but not hiding because she was hiding as a precaution. So she's like, oh, I can finally go out in public again. Okay, good. Right. So she's been kind of like, oh, sorry guys. She's been alerted, okay, as to what could happen. And I also get that it's interesting that people like her get, how it's like, of course, we have these, so-called psychic channels and such. Right. So a lot of people are sharing information, but that they do get the intelligence that has more specific information. And of course, they also try to not share that with the population because they don't want chaos. They don't want panic. So because of the whole thing with also saying she's been in on high alert since the whole Charlie Kirk thing happens. So this is there, right? All right. Now, let's go back to this whole eclipse situation. I feel like, how do I say this? Like, I feel like it's more about the 24th that I pick up, right? The middle of that would be, I think, is it Thursday, I believe. Let's see, actually. Yes, it's a Wednesday, actually. The 24th is a Wednesday. So earlier, right, that week, there is this push. Okay. And again, and it tells me like we don't know exactly the details of what was going to happen. And in some ways, I think we're not supposed to even know the exact details. Something will happen and will be very chaotic. But ultimately, we're going to go after this towards something better, right? And I don't think immediately after, but I feel like whatever the bottom is, it's probably going to be around the 24th. Okay. So that's that. All right. Okay. Now, um, okay. So, okay. So then there's a lot to talk about. So I have said it. So let's say, let me ask you, spirit keys or anything else I haven't said that I should say. It shows it to tell people to keep your heads low. And my plan really is that just to do simple things, do the very simple things you can do, like cleaning, getting rid of stuff. That's it. But anything about, I really, and again, I am not a professional travel scheduler or whatever, but if you don't have to travel, I would not travel next week. Okay. Just because there could be delays and all those kinds of things. Okay. So that's that part. And and that's that. And okay, just because I pick up all this chaos, and imagine if something serious happens, and even like on the road or something, or like having to stay in some air. I see the flights could be grounded and those kinds of things, right? So that's pretty serious. So avoid, any like a lot of public gathering. I think those people that are trying to turn the country into a total dictatorship and are doing these false flag operations will try to do something then, and they will be eventually stopped. I feel like, oh, and as I was talking to somebody on the phone today about this, I think it was, guys, again, sometimes I blur because I've talked about this back and forth. I guess I'm reminded of January 6th and what happened, right? Trash tried to take over to do a real dictatorship then, to stay in power. Something like that could happen. But what I felt like is that unlike January 6th, he could be actually removed because we know that then Biden took over after him, right? But this time it could be that he's just going to be stopped because his plans are anti-constitutional and anti-democratic. And I don't know, again, the how is, it's hard to see how we don't know exactly. Okay. And I think I think this like a community or the intuitives or whatever, we're not actually supposed to know the details because that could spoil. Like, doesn't make sense. The spirit has its own reasons for not telling us. So, but that's what I get. And I feel peace with this. I'm at peace because it's sort of like, it's like it shows me that there's a storm coming and we just have to prepare for it. We can't pretend it's not going to happen. We just have to make plans around it. Okay. All right. So, so let's see here. All right. So, okay. I haven't even. So, by the way, there's also a lot of people commented on the story. I had seen this story. It's interesting. An account from Romania that I follow had published this like 2 or 3 days ago that the U.S. was observing the military exercises of Belarus. And I didn't find a link then, but then a couple of days later, this came out. Okay. And okay. Okay, look at this. I cannot believe. Okay, let me just share this with you. It's like sickening. It really is sickening. But I have to share with you because that is my role here. Uh, it tells me, Rosie, observe, don't consume yourself with this, but observe. Okay, so let's share. But it's interesting. If you have been watching me for a while, you know that exactly that's what I said before, right? That it would come to a point where we would like we would have to deal with this, right? We would have to deal with this creature doing this. Okay. So right, the US military observers pay surprise visit to Belarus to observe war games with Russia. Okay. So let's go here. So that's the story. The presence of the US officers is the latest sign of warming ties between Washington and Belarus, a close Russian ally that allowed Moscow to use its territory to send tens of thousands of troops into Ukraine in February 2022. And then there was a comment. Someone's like, Rosie, and it must be a troll. Okay, but someone said, oh, Belarus is not it's a NATO. No, it's not. Belarus is not a NATO ally. It's not part of NATO. It is very much a Putin puppet state. Just so you know that. Okay, so the fact that it's almost as if it's almost like it is in practical terms, it's almost as if it were Russian territory. This is how close they are. Okay. So again, this is, remember how I said before, there would come a time when Trump would ask the military to openly fight against Ukraine, right? To support Russia in that sense. And that's when I think that it will unravel for Trump. Things will unravel for Trump. Okay. So that's that. All right. So let's look at it. Okay. Let's go look at it, because is this the moment? Because now, see, this is step one. It's not quite fighting for Russia, but that's what I think the next step is. Going to go to the Pentagon and ask for this, and that's when. So now you're seeing, right? It is actually getting there, as I had seen. So it feels very, very warm, and I'm getting very, very warm. So is this going to be the trigger for? Okay, will this be? Say it's saying it's coming next. And you know what I'm getting, guys? Wow. I have to share this with you. And if I'm getting it, it's because Spirit wanted me to share this with you. Okay. So what I'm getting is that the thing that I picked up regarding the UN meeting next week, Russia may be involved, and it may be a direct attack on the US, right? And Trump will try to cover up and say, no, they didn't mean it. No, it wasn't. Like, imagine if it's as if Japan did an attack on Pearl Harbor, and someone's like, and the U.S. were like, no, it wasn't. It's not true. They didn't mean it was an accident. Okay, right? That's the equivalent. So it tells me, oh wow, saying, oh wow, okay, Donald Trump uh, will be practicing treason on. It's will be treason on the spot, because as we are attacked, he is siding with the enemy and wanting the enemy to come in. And that's when I see the tides will turn. So tell everybody to pray, to stay. It's like, it's saying, don't get too obsessed with the whole Charlie thing, whatever. At this point, is a distraction from everything else that's going on. Yes, the Epstein files, but also this, essentially the real thing happening is the giving away the US to Russia. Okay. I mean it seriously, okay? Like, that this is happening because if you consider, and I consider that to be true, that Trump is a puppet of Russia, of Putin, technically, and that he is working to further the interests of the Russian Federation. I believe that to be true, yes. What is Russia's current focus? The Ukraine invasion and war. So this is the thing that you have to keep in mind, right? Is to destroy the US by creating chaos and division, and also to help to take over Ukraine and then Europe. Okay, I mean it seriously. Okay, take them seriously. So does it make sense? It's a situation where it appears to me that we will have been attacked more directly, and that he is aiding and abetting the enemy. And there are enemies, foreign and domestic, right? And domestic U.S. citizens working for that country, and also him, right? So does it make sense? It's like both of them together for the enemy. So this is a moment of truth where the waters dividing waters, right? So it's and it could even be next week. Now I am also getting that so Trump is supposed to go to the UK. Okay. So there was this protest organized by this far right guy, Tommy Robinson, who is definitely following commands to divide. He's attacking the UK, and Russia has been attacking the UK for a while now, ever since they've been big supporters of Ukraine, and they've announced themselves as being big supporters of Ukraine. So And so Elon Musk has been pushing, essentially servicing, he's being like the biggest influencer proponent of Russia's talking points as far as the UK goes. So he's been pushed. He's like, oh, you have to protest. Don't let them take down the government. Somebody saying stuff like this. Okay. And here, I can share this with you. Here is, oh, see the evidence. Here it is. What did Elon Musk say at a far right rally? And did his remarks break the law? Ex-owner accused of using dangerous and inflammatory language at protest organized by Tommy Robinson. Downing Street has condemned Elon Musk for using dangerous and inflammatory language at the nationalist protest organized by the far-right activist Tommy Robinson on Saturday. But will or should the ex-owner face any consequences? It is. Has Musk broken the law? There are two main statutes that apply to the public pronouncements that encourage or incite violence in England and Wales. The first is the Public Order 1986. The second is Serious Crime Act of 2007. The provisions, which also cover Northern Ireland, that relate to encouraging or assisting commission of an offense. But the person must believe the offense will be committed and that their act will encourage its commission. Okay, so I don't want to get into like the nuts and bolts, and like it's not the point, right? What I want to know is, it seems to me that this is coordinated with our right, and then coincidentally, Trump is coming to the UK on Wednesday. All right, this Wednesday, and something tells me that as Trump returns from the UK, that's when the big revolt from them starts. Okay, so actually, let me show you the article here about. Okay, Trump's Trump heads to UK for historic second state visit. Here it is. He and First Lady Melania Trump will meet with the royal family on Wednesday. Okay, they're heading. Go to Tuesday to second state visit, where he will also meet with top UK officials to deepen ties with one of America's closest allies. Okay, so for some reason, what I'm getting is this, that whatever happens in that visit will make Trump very nervous. And as he returns, he will be moving, and they will all collectively move towards a much more aggressive stance. And I feel like Trump will feel threatened and feel like he's removal maybe in a year, which is possible, right? So for him, no. No. Okay, please. Get out of the screen. I say you play music. No, I'm not. No, thanks. So I see him coming back quickly to try to like, and then I see he has like as if it was a command center with all these buttons. Like, try, we have to take over there. And something tells me, I don't know how he will think this or why, that he may become aware that they have information on him and how the election took place. And this will make him very nervous because they may somehow tell him that they have information on how he took power. I mean, again, I don't know how they would say it, but that's what it feels like to me. Okay. And it tells me again, it's telling me, I've said this once already today. Say, tell people to try to pay attention to whatever's going on outside of the whole like Charlie Kirk thing, because they're using it to kind of command the attention of the press and like kind of guide the national discourse. Okay, so that's what I get. That to keep your eyes on the prize, pray. Okay, and by the way, I got this bracelet. Let me show you. This bracelet from Poshmark. Poshmark is a secondhand. I think this may not actually be a secondhand, but it says it's a bracelet that says, "Walk by faith, not by sight." Okay, because this is a moment like this that they may be trying to have us focus only on this. It's like the opium for the masses type of thing. Okay, so that they can conduct their other business, right? And they could try, it could be that they're trying to get some kind of quote unquote civil war started or whatever. But again, focus on this coming week and what's happening with Russia. And by the way, Russia is suffering a lot in the Ukraine war. They have, just like to give you an like sense of the magnitude of this, more than 1 million Russian soldiers have died. Someone had posted, somebody who was a nice person. I recognize his comments, his or her comments from before. He said, "Oh, I think that Putin's going to use this as a way to get more troops." I said, "No, Russia has been doing conscription for a while, from almost since the beginning of this war. And there's a lot of videos, if you look for it, of people, like, they go into gyms, they go into places not around Moscow, because Moscow is like a city, and it's like they don't want the cities to be, if they go to the rural places, they go to the more ethnic places, to kind of like push up, oblige people to go to war, force them essentially to go to the war. So they have lost that many people. They're desperate. Ukraine is successfully attacking a lot of their oil fields. Their economy is cratering. So this is what you have to kind of pay attention to, because right now these are the Trump's masters. Okay, so having said that, this is, keep your eyes on the prize. Don't let whatever propaganda, it's like, I feel like whatever propaganda, whatever they're talking about is what they want us, what is distraction. The truth and what is really happening, they don't want to talk about. Okay, and that's the thing that we do want to talk about to protect ourselves, also our energy, and really please limit the coverage on the whole, uh, you know, what you call it, right? Wait, I thought, oh no, I thought that I hope the microphone is working. It was a different microphone, but I hope it's working, right? All right. Well, forgive me if if something changed. The volume may have been a little bit lower today, but you get it now, right? Okay. So this is it. Now there's more. Let's see here. So Cash Patel's in trouble. There's a lot of right. So Cash Patel in trouble. Now I'm just going to show you. There was a hearing today. There was a Cash Patel says others in investigation Charlie Kirk shooting probe. The FBI director sparred with Senators Booker and Schiff during the hearing. All right. So I'm not going to focus. I don't want to see whatever he was saying. But even apparently the conservatives want to get rid of him. I don't know what's going on. I mean, he's so competent. He is meritocracy. Truly, truly. No. But let's see what's going on with him. I see that they're going to put a finger on him, kind of to try to scapegoat him and blame him for whatever failure, because it's saying there's a lot that cannot be explained in this story. And still, guys, how does a person, I mean, not that I ever think through these things because I don't care about it, obviously, but even if the guy, let's say he's a lone man, how would he get access to these buildings? Like, it takes a lot of planning. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like this is legit. And even the story, how apparently they said they found texts between the shooter and the roommate. And like the roommate is like, he had a gay relationship with a roommate. I don't know. I find this whole thing to be a little sus. Okay. I don't, wow. You know what I get? Immediately Charlie saying, no, Rosie, it was not true. It's not true. That's not what happened at all. They planned it. There's more people involved is what I'm getting from Charlie Kirk. Not that I, did not do great things, but it's weird that he comes and he's always like, no, it's them. They did it. They're trying to cover it up. And even like say that, by the way, what's the name of that woman? Not Cassandra, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. The one that's being sued by the Macrons, okay? So that woman, she clearly shares a lot of the Russian talking points, and a lot of they've been trying to frame, oh no, it was Mossad. Mossad has bigger fish to fry, really. And I don't think that, I don't, not at all. I think if you think about who really is interested in distracting, right? But again, Spirit tells me, don't focus on that. Don't think of this. Okay. Wait, again. Okay, so does it make sense? Really quick story is a distraction for now. That's I think why he was sacrificed to create distraction. And the facts, guys, I'm not even going to go into the details again because I focus this channel on what is really happening. I think we can spend hours on like distilling what happened with that wife of his, what happened with, Jada Vance not went on the podcast. It's just very strange. It's very bizarre, right? All these things. So, okay. And then he goes, Jada Vance went on the podcast. And so the left, it's saying, I see that the image that I get about Jada Vance going on that podcast is like this, like rise up, trying to ask their own people to go and attack. But it tells me very clearly that the right does not believe it was the left at all. They know they're lying. And even the ones that saying only the ones that are truly like complete like radicalized where they think it's cool to be shit posting, it's called about this. Oh no, it was the left, it was them, go get them. It's because they know the whole authoritarian game. And I see that, it shows me also Peter Thiel, by the way, he had that Antichrist conference, right? It's them who wants, they're like, oh, we're just going to say this and the little people are going to do something because they themselves are too cowardly to take up whatever arm, their own arms or whatever it is they want people to do for them. So that's what they were like hoping it will just, oh, it's going to rile people up, but I don't see it happening. Not right now. Okay. So, and it tells me, I see this hands of spirit saying, calm down and see. And it tells for us to sit, I have to go to the supermarket actually, but try to relax if possible. But self-care until the 26th or 25th or 26th of September, be very calm and quiet. Okay. Because it is what it is. All right. So, okay. So that's that. All right. So let's see anything else that I have because I separated here. Okay. So that's right. Prepare for, it's like take next week as a moments of self-care and such, and then things will improve. But I don't mean improve like, oh, one day the next day is gonna, you know what I mean? It's like it's gonna take time, but they're building up the most tension. They will do the most in the upcoming week, and then we should see at least a degree of liberation. And by the way, another thing I remembered, as I had predicted, Lisa Cook, the Court of Appeals did not allow Trump to remove Lisa Cook. Okay, so that's good. Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve. All right, so that's that. And then Trump, the other thing, the last thing, he was saying that he wants the public companies not have to report their numbers quite as often. But it's like the whole era of the amount of scams these people are doing, it's unbelievable. Okay, so it tells me sit tight, things will change. Okay, and it tells me that they have been engaged. That's why they're so scared and pushing it so hard, because they've been engaged on a coup for almost, can you believe, guys? It's almost, I can't believe it, almost a year. Today is September 16th. The election was November, so 10 months since that happened. Can you believe it? So here we are, but keep the faith, okay? And do not get into the rabbit holes of the information they're feeding us, and saying the information space is very, very poisoned right now. There's a lot of confusing information. Do not focus on this whole Charlie thing for now. Okay. That's what I'm getting as advice. All right. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.